To Lantana, Texas. Scott, great to have you on the program. Hi.
Hi, Rush. Great honor, sir.
Thank you very much.
If you go back to the original leftists, 100-plus years ago, they're always talking about how profit is evil and is actually an economic cost that needs to be recaptured and spread out, so to speak. Well, if you take a look at the Great Society, and you mentioned some data in the past hour about how 72 cents of every dollar comes out of the federal bureaucracy and 28 cents stays in.
No, it's the other way around. That was in the 80s. 28 cents stayed with the government. 72 cents went to the recipient. But I'll bet you it's much worse today.
I will bet it is as well. Well, I like to point out that 28 cents on every dollar staying with the quote-unquote bureaucracy in Washington is a whole lot more inefficient than the 1 or 2% that ExxonMobil's getting right now.
Well, that's and that's a theft profit to boot.
Exactly.
They don't have to do anything well. All they got to do is take the money. All they've got to do is collect the deductions. By the way, an interesting thing you mentioned. You talk about going back to the original leftist. Who is that?
Well, it depends on how far you want to go. But, I mean, if you talk about Lenin, Stalin, Trotsky, I mean, you can go back to the...
you got to go farther back than that.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the Fabian Society. Actually, you can probably go back as far as the Garden of Eden. I mean, Cain and Abel. I mean, Cain didn't like the profits that Abel was getting, even though they probably weren't registered in monetary value. He wanted that spread around as well.
Well, it's the original leftist. Find out who this guy is and string him up. The original leftist. There was one. There has to be one. That's leftist one, not leftist two, not leftist three, leftist one. It'd be great to now. You know that the wackos try to say it's Jesus. Oh, they would. They do. They try to claim. What, Snurdly? What do you mean? Every Christmas, homelessness is said to contain perhaps the next Mary and Joseph. That Mary and Joseph, just like the homeless, are wandering around and they couldn't find it, they didn't have any money, and they didn't guarantee the reservation of their American Express card, had no place to stay. They do. They invoke Jesus when they need it. But I wouldn't say it's leftist one. But there is one. It's just, he said this. Go back to the original leftist. It just inspired a thought as to who is the original leftist. That'd be a great assignment for some college student. Go back in history. Find the original leftist.